Hi, hello. This is Dasha. This is How and Smart podcast, and this is like my fifth attempt to record a podcast on this topic. And I don't know if I'm going to like do it now, but I'll try once more because I'm an achiever, so I should try. And the fact is that the topic is really, really hard to me because I see that it is very arrogant. The topic is really subtle in terms of triggering others. And as you may see from the video's name, it's quite controversial. So I don't know yet how to approach it, but I'll figure it out. Okay, and let me start from this point. Um, 2 years ago, I started to work on my desire to look and feel good. And it also included the fact that I wanted to feel and look sexy. And what I found out is that I have a fear of being sexy, which is a huge thing. Actually, it's not only like some kind of psychological thing, it's a huge concept that a lot of people do have because we have a fear to be attractive, which means that when we are attractive to others, it means that we have a lot of attention, and a lot of peers are scared of this attention because we don't know what to do with this attention. So that's why we don't go in that direction because it's more safe to basically hide yourself up. So it's common both for men and women, and that's the thing that I was struggling with because when I was a teenager, I'd say that I started off as a very hot and popular girl. I mean, I was like, yeah, I was in the very popular girl community. There were three of us, and it was something like a mean girl kind of thing. I mean, we were not mean, but it required a lot of work. It's like, yeah, the same pretty as the mean girls. You have to wear pink, we have our rules, we have all that stuff, and it required a lot of work to be in that kind of group. And we had the things to discuss. We were popular. We had to go on a date with guys, with the particular guys. You have to like hang out with some people and do not hang out with others. So it required a lot of work. And when the the problems in my family started to occur, um, I could not handle like being in that group because I had no resources and I was around like 13, 14 years old. And so these were my friends, my girlfriends, and I came to them and basically told them honestly, like, like I love y'all. It's so nice to be in this group. I'm so like proud to be part of this like group and etc. But I need to quit for a while because like girls, just like I have lots of problems right now and I need to hang out alone. I don't want just like to bother you and like yeah, so I'll quit for a while and I'll come back. And they were shocked, of course. And the next day they told me that I was like excluded from, well, I was like, yeah, I was out of this group. And basically, I became an outcast and nobody was communicating with me because when you're part of a popular group community, no one wants to communicate with you if you're abandoned by that kind of group, right? And so after that, like I think like for half a year, I hang out alone, which was totally okay because I had problems in my family. But after that, I became like a tomboy, wearing like baggy jeans and skateboarding and listening to hip hop, etc. And just like being that kind of like in Russia we call that pацan. And I was like, yeah, I can do that. And I was like super enjoying and I was like laughing at these girls who used to wear like heels. And I was like, I'm not that kind of girl, etc. And plus, adding to that experience, of course, when I started to bloom as a woman, as a girl, it's not obvious, it's not of course, but I was sexually assaulted a few times by men, and it was awful experience actually. So I made a decision that, first of all, being a hot woman, a hot girl, requires a lot of like duties. You have to wear pink on Wednesdays. I'm laughing, but it's not that. I'll be that back in a minute on this topic. And also, when you're like sexually attractive, like men try to like sexually assault you. So basically, you get a lot of attention and you have to like manage this role because that's how things work. If you are in the role of a hot woman, then you have to play this role. And I was like, you know what? I'm out. This is not for me. I don't want to be hot. I'm not going that way. I'm going to be smart because that's what I want to do. I love being smart. That's my jam. But somehow, being smart was not an easy thing to do also, because when you're smart, people think that you will figure it out alone, that you don't need their help, that basically you're so smart that you can do it all alone, and that like you can handle it, like she's smart, she can do that. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, probably I can, but I don't know, like what is happening. And so I understood that, yeah, like being smart, it's basically the same thing as being hot, but just like it has its advantages and disadvantages. And so I started to think, you know what? But probably I should just like try to be a hot woman, not because like I believe that like it's a very convenient way to live, which I do believe right now. But I started off just thinking that, you know what? I am like 32 at that moment, at that point. So I'm not going to be a hot woman when I'm going to be 60, right? Because like, well, biology works that way. I don't know, like, where are we going to be in like 30 years? But from my perspective, I might be hot, but not as hot as I am like when I'm 30. So I asked myself, are we going to like go into this direction of being hot? And the answer was yes, let's do that. It's doable. Yes, let's go. And so step by step, I started to rebuild my image. I started to like think about what I wear, how I look, etc. It was like a long path because before that I was not actually caring about anything. Like I could go like month without pedicure, manicure, or just like I don't know, like even like doing all these like things with shaving legs. I was not caring. I was honestly like this was not important to me, and I was like a classical European woman. Like, you know what? I work, I pay for myself, I got my bills. I don't want to care about things like cellulite and others because they don't matter. Like, looks don't matter. And so it was quite a path to go back on a lifestyle where the manicure that I have, the pedicure that I have, are extremely important. The When I do a blowouts regularly, when I look good, when I smell good. And I would not say that I like, just like finished this journey. I would say that right now I'm just like probably like going on another level, but still just like in the process. So, and yes, I became a hot woman. I don't want you to think that I'm a hot woman because I'm perceived hot in my community, in my society, like with peers that I hang out with, and that's why just like I don't want you to think that I'm hot. It's just like I'm saying from the perspective of my peers, my society. So, in your society, in your culture, I could be ugly and I'm totally okay with that. But what I wanted to tell by like driving more attention, of course, like there will right now there's a lot of guys around me and they want to approach me, and honestly I don't know like why don't do like hot girls don't do stand up, because the amount of cringe I get is insane. And I mean this is insane, but yeah, let's keep that for now. So, like a lot of guys, they want my attention. They just like they want to help me, they want to go on a date, etc. And I was like, yeah, I have to manage it because like yeah, that's how things work, you have to like communicate with like people and engage with them. And that was like the level A, but the level B hit like I was not ready for it because I started to get hot girlfriends again. And I mean, by hot, I mean extremely hot. So when we were sitting at the bar, and I was like, you know what? Like, it definitely feels nice sitting with a like beautiful woman, and being one of them. But like it was such an awkward feeling because everyone was looking at us and everyone was trying to listen about like what we're talking about. And I was like, this is weird. I feel like a lot of attention and a lot of pressure. And I understood that right now as I have a hot girlfriends who are really hot and smart. plus plus to that, and they're young. This is like, again, I'm like, again, like in high school, you know, like when you have these rules, when you have to follow these rules, when you have to go to particular events and not go to particular events, where you can hang out with these guys and not hang out with these guys. And I was like, I don't know if I want it, because, you know, like I used to live so freely. I used to communicate with everyone. Like I had no borders, literally. I would just like, I will like drink beer with some homeless guy, and that was not an issue for me. Never. I mean, for a very long period of time, I would just like talk about how things are, etc. I was just that kind of girl. But like when you enter some kind of role, and by role in this case, I mean being a hot woman, you get a lot of advantages, right? Because actually, just like I get a lot of offers, like men trying to help me with something, they want to feed me, they want to buy me stuff, etc. And it feels nice. I like it. Definitely I love it. It's cool way of living. I never tried it, but right now I'm in this process, and like getting like flower delivery is nice. I love it. So just like, yeah, I have this, I have disadvantages, but I also have like a role that I have to play. And of course, I have to look perfectly each and every fucking day. And I just like, I can't hang out with a homeless guy anymore, because that will make me like not that hot, you know? Like, because like for a hot person, it's very important with whom you hang out with. I know how like psychology works in this case. So, and I'm like sitting there and understanding that, you know, like I like this idea of all these advantages that I have right now. And like the more I work towards the topic, the hotter I get, the more I communicate with guys, the more I understand how things work. And generally, the better like options I have, the better I am of service. Because yes, we start off like, they they approach me like a, I don't know, like a hot woman, but in the end we become friends, we can like do business, etc. So it's basically, I look pretty, and that's just like, basically an invitation for a contact, and nothing like, besides that. And of course, like with the like most of these guys, we can like handle a lot of situations in life. And yeah, but anyways, so you have this, and also you have like that you have to pay your freedom. Basically, I can't like be ugly anymore, because if I would be ugly, I would be excluded out of group of hot women. And for example, if I will like come to to the meeting looking ugly, this is not going to work. I will either will I will either be excluded. And right now I'm just like sitting and basically thinking that, yeah, you know what, I like the idea of being this hot woman, the woman who's like sexually attractive, who's like who's beautiful, and I even love caring about myself. Yes, it adds an extra pressure to my life, but at the same time, the advantages that I have are a way um like more opening, like more, I don't know, like they give me more than disadvantages. So I think I would go that way. But at the same time, like thinking about this role and having this situation in my pocket with my girlfriends who basically excluded me when I was in high school, to me this is like, you know, like reliving the trauma, the childhood trauma, and thinking that, you know, like I was not like, we split with these girls, with one of them we never communicated, and another one became my best friend at the end. But the thing is that, like, I used to perceive that situation as an awful experience, and I always told it like from the perspective that how bad they were. And we even, with my friend, we had a conversation where I told her, like, you know, that hurt me so much, and she was so sorry about it because she forgot, obviously, like what happened. And right now, I mean, like, I think that, well, from some point, like they acted like as children, but they were right, because that's how adult society works also. Because if you're going, like, if you want to have advantages of some kind of, like, I don't know, like your role that you're playing, that you have to pay with your freedom, with the freedom of choice, with the freedom of how you wear, with the freedom of how you, I don't know, you don't look right. Because it even doesn't work in societies who say that they're super free. For example, if you would go to the punkish community, to the community of punks, you if you will come to that community looking all fresh, looking like, I don't know, very beautiful, sexy, and all put up, uh they will say that you just like you don't belong to them, because they would not sense that you belong to them. It happened to me because I used to hang out with punks too, and I was like, I want to look like that, I want to look like a candy, but like be in the punkish community, or to be in a ghetto. Like I want to wear high heels. I want to wear like super luxurious like brands, but also hang out in a ghetto with my guys. And that's now not how things work, because you have to choose. If you want to like look like that, then it doesn't work. You can shake up a little bit the community, you can shake up a little bit the rules, but you can't change them, because these are the rules, and you either follow them or you get excluded. So this applies not only to being hot. Obviously, this is like a challenge to me right now. As I told you, I don't know what path I'm going to like choose, because like it requires a lot of work and money and in general just like a lot of pressure, but the advantages like are cute. But yeah, anyway, it requires to a lot of things. For example, if you are going to be, I don't know, like a boss, or an investor, or a girlfriend, or I don't know, a citizen of a particular city, you you are about to play the role, and you have to play it perfectly. And the thing is that there are no rules. You can't like have a book where it's like all the rules are written. You just like have to guess them, to sense them, to feel them. And of course, I mean, like when you're a boss, there's just like a list of things that you can do and not do, and cannot do. But like 80% of rules are unwritten, and you just like have to feel them and sense them. It same goes like with being hot, honestly. Like, like nobody will tell me like anything. If I would go to the meeting looking like shit, nobody will ever say me anything. But I know that people will think, and they will make certain decisions. And of course, they will never say to me, like, like the kids did, like, we excluded you because you don't fit in our group, because our group is a strong women, and we don't like weak, right? And right now, people will say something, oh, like we hang out because like we know, blah, blah, blah. and and that's how things work. That's just like how life works. And to me, this is like some like mind opening experience, because I'm 34. Obviously, I had a life, but um this is like such an interesting topic, because being a super free person who used to live without any rules, like I was flying from one community to another community like a butterfly. I would sit there and say, like I'm a foreigner, or I would sit there and say, I'm from another industry. It's so interesting. And right now, I'm basically choosing where to settle, and I'm settling among hot girls, and I'm like, damn, this requires such a like hard work, and I'm not sure that I'm ready for it. But I also understand that no matter what community you are choosing, and even if you are choosing a community of flying butterflies, it doesn't matter. It requires your freedom. You have to pay with your freedom in terms of like choosing to be a part of anything. Whew, yes, this time I got it right. I don't want to sound arrogant by labeling me as a hot person. As I've told you, that's how I perceive myself. That's how I am perceived with like among my peers and among men that like me. Probably that might sound a bit arrogant. I don't want to sound arrogant. I am like hot for myself right now. Not that hot as I can be, but I mean, what I was trying to say, that it requires a lot of work, and I'm proud of the work that I've done. So that's probably I'm speaking like freely about it. So that's how things worked, and hopefully to catch you soon. I wish this was insightful, because to me this was insightful a lot, and it is really hard to embrace it, because I want to live in a society where you can be hot one day and then the next day you can be ugly. But as we can see from Victoria's Secret Prophet, it doesn't work that way. Yeah, done.